So this is the all-new iPhone 16 Pro Max, and today it's going to face off against the Galaxy S24 Ultra in a speed test. What is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Let's go ahead and get right into this with a boot up test in 3, 2, go. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max does have the Apple A18 Pro chip. That is a 3nm design. And then the Galaxy S24 Ultra on the right there does have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and that is a 4nm chip. 12 gigabytes of RAM on the right. We also have Android, I think it's 14 on here, One UI 6.1.1. Over here on the left, we do have ourselves the Apple A18 Pro chip again with iOS 18, the official version, and 8 gigs of RAM. So they didn't go to the 12 gigs, which we expected this year, which is kind of lame if you ask me, but that's what it is. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and test the biometrics. So we do have Face ID, and it's been amazing for years, and it's no different here. I am looking forward to maybe an under display Face ID for the iPhone 17 next year, but this one, man, it is really, really good. Like, you could put this thing on a weird angle and it still sees your face very well. Although we do have what could have been a Touch ID sensor, but it's a camera button right there, because that looks just like, tell me that doesn't look like a Touch ID. It definitely does, but Face ID is still working pretty flawlessly. Over here on the Samsung, you can use Face Unlock. It uses the camera to get in, so it's not going to be the most secure method, although they have gotten better with not allowing it to be fooled easily. Still, if you want the best method, you're going to use this. You can also use this ultrasonic fingerprint sensor with the screen off, so I don't even have to unlock it. You could just do it like that. So technically, the S24 Ultra, I do feel like you can get in this phone faster because you could just know right where it is and get right in. So confirming the software, the latest update on here is actually 6.1. I think I said 6.1.1, and I have Android 14 on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. And then here on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, you could see iOS 18, the official 22A 3354 build. Now, this doesn't have the Apple Intelligence, so if you want to try out Apple Intelligence and you're buying a 16 Pro, Pro Max, 16 models, you'll have to download the 18.1 beta or wait till October when it does come out. All right, guys, so when it comes to their general software, you're going to see both of them very smooth, not a big difference whatsoever when it comes to scrolling through each operating system. You could see here is Samsung's app drawer, and then you have app library over here. Both of them do a very good job, although one goes vertical, one goes left to right. The Pixel goes vertical in their app drawer, so that's closer to an iPhone, but over here, not a major difference. They both do have adaptive refresh. When you go to the control center, you'll see they both have circular icons up there and the quick toggles, and over here on control center, definitely it looks sometimes a little choppy on this control center. And sometimes when you're adding stuff here for the iPhone, over here we go to add controls. Hold on, give me a second. We go down here, it'll sometimes take a second to load those up. Let's see if it does the same thing on the S24 Ultra. Hit edit, you can see, nope, those are all ready to go. So I would say this area of the phone, the quick toggles up here and the control center, I would say the Samsung is actually a little faster, a little bit more polished there. Even though the iPhone has an all new look, it's not quite as fast as the older control center in my experience. So they could work a little bit on that, getting that a little bit smoother if you ask me. All right, guys, so here we are at the app portion of my speed test. So we're going to launch some apps in this area of the speed test, and let's go ahead and begin with calendar. And you can see, I think that was a Samsung. Again, I'm going to be looking through the camera. Also, I'm going to be trying to look at both phones. Animation looks faster on the Samsung, but if I call them wrong, call me out, bro. Like, we're having fun here. That's what we're doing. We're having fun. At this point, everybody knows that smartphones are mature. They have very fast processors. You're not going to go wrong either way. But I think it's still fun to see how good they do with their animations, how fast they look for the day-to-day experience. It's just fun. Let's go into weather. And you'll see Apple was much faster. Samsung loading up some weather information. That's the first load though. What I want to do, and I'm not giving Samsung any credit here, that is what it did. is I just want to show you that sometimes it'll do that and then it'll go back to a little bit snappier performance. But both of them are going to give you similar information. I do like on the Samsung how the little guy shows you what to wear. Like if you need a sweater that day, the guy will put a sweater on. Let's go into news, respective news apps for each. Looks like Apple had that one first. And they both have their own news app, although Samsung's news is in beta. Apple's been doing Apple News for a long time, so it's a lot more polished, I would say, for that app. Let's go into Play Store, App Store. Faster there to load the Play Store on the right. If I go over here to apps, you'll see that's faster on the Samsung. And let me swipe up out of there. And we'll go into Instagram. And the Samsung was quicker there. We do have non-linear animations on the Samsung as well. So that app, that's going to look kind of similar when you swipe up out of here. You'll see they kind of got that same look. Let's go into X, formerly known as Twitter. And you'll see that was the Samsung, and we'll go to profile. That was the Samsung, and Samsung actually shipped the Galaxy S24 line with AI features right out of the box. So they were not half baked. So let's go to YouTube and see what happens here. We're going to go to this area. We're going to go to the trending tab, and you can see very good on both. Let's swipe up out of here and let's go into Amazon. And this one gave me a pop-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to early deals here to get an idea. Snappier on the right. Let's click this. A little bit, I think the animations are playing into the, once you're in the app as well. So the Samsung, snappier once again on the right. The Samsung is a fast phone this year. Not saying the Apple device isn't more powerful in benchmarks, but that Samsung is not playing. He is not playing over there. The S24 Ultra has been the king most of the year. And you could see, once again, a little snappier. So I think Apple is prioritizing more of a smoother, just visually more pleasing look, whereas Samsung is going for speed. Definitely. So both of them good there. And I also find that the Samsung with more RAM is a good thing. You're having 12 gigs, which is a good thing for the long term. I don't like how this has 8 gigs. It should have had 12. And last year, the base model 15 should have had 8. Definitely behind here on the RAM on the left. But, you know, even with the less RAM, Apple's super powerful CPUs, overpowered CPUs, and their polish of the software, along with developers really optimizing their apps for the platform, make this thing run very good. Also, we have the game mode on here now. And I think the Samsung was doing something weird. So I want to rerun Subway Surfers here. Let's go into Subway Surfers. But you can see I was loading something weird, but still faster on the iPhone. So Apple is pulling ahead here on the first game. Again, with game mode introduced in iOS 18, they do enhance the performance by killing off things in the background, giving you better performance in games. Although iPhone typically has one in the past for games, S24 Ultra has been one of the better Android devices on the market for this area. Although I still don't think it's better than like some dedicated hardcore gaming phones. The iPhone has won the boot up here for real racing. So I don't know what is going on there on the Samsung, but definitely took some time. I don't think it's loading an update, so that definitely took its sweet time. We're going to give that one easily to the iPhone. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2, and we'll see what happens here. Some people are going to say, well, yep, the iPhone faster again. So we have, I think we got a faster phone here for gaming on the left. Maybe we'll see how it does in actual performance. I'll look into that before I give you my honest review of this phone. I'm going to play the games a little bit before the actual review, tell you if it throttles. You also see that in 3D Mark benchmarks. We'll see if the games are throttled. Let's go into play. And you can see right here, when we are playing the game though, it's going to come down to which one you prefer holding, the squared body or the curved body on the left. It's about the same size screen, almost the same experience. Let's go into Free Fire. Literally, this comparison comes down to, do you want a Samsung phone or an Apple phone? For some people, they probably are trading in their S24 Ultra just because they're bored of it. They want to try out the 16 Pro Max. And some people are going to be like, I'll wait till the S25 Ultra. Some people are just going to, enjoy both. It depends. Let's go into PUBG Mobile. The bottom line is that you're just not losing here. Neither one of you, whatever one you pick, you're not losing. You're winning. You're winning a great phone. Well, you're not winning. You're paying for it. Let's not get it twisted. It's not a giveaway. You are paying for it, but you're winning as a consumer because you're getting a really good phone. A lot of people like to look at Apple's non-upgrade year over year, but you got to remember some of the people coming to this phone, actually a lot of the people coming to this phone on the 16 Pro Max are coming from older, slower products as well. So we're compiling some resources over here. Once again, slower by a long shot on the S24 Ultra. I'm not sure if it was doing some extra loading here that this one didn't do. So I'm gonna let this load out, but then after that, I'm gonna close them and relaunch these just to make sure it was a total win for the iPhone. So let's let this load out and I'll be back. All right, and here we are with the S24 Ultra taking its sweet time there on PUBG. Let's go ahead and run that one more time. And again, I'm not closing these to try to give Samsung credit. I just want to make sure that these apps are not like loading stuff unfairly. That's why I'm doing this, not because I'm trying to give the S24 Ultra another chance or something like that. That's not why. It's because I want to just ensure that they were loading the same stuff. So you've seen the S24 Ultra was not as far behind that time, which goes to show that it was just loading some resources that this one wasn't loading. So right there, it was only behind by a little. Of course, when you're in the game, you're going to have a good experience on both. And Apple does have better heat management here, so we'll probably have even better gaming performance on this product right here as well with a more efficient chip. But the Samsung is going to do well here as well. You also do have more of a squared edge and, of course, curved edge. So that's going to depend how you feel about the comfort of holding these. This will dig into the corner a little bit, but it definitely feels like a little TV, little flat screen TV. And this was going to be a little more comfortable to hold, a little bit more like a controller, like in the corners. You know, controllers are a little bit more smoother, rounded. So I think the iPhone's more comfortable to hold, but I like the Samsung for its large kind of feel. Let's go into speed test. And you'll see that's faster on the left, and we'll head into InShot, faster on the right. We'll go into 3D Mark, and that's faster on the right by a big long shot. And you could see iPhone clocked in at 4.04 gigahertz, so pretty good clock speed compared to before. And we'll go to the final app, 3D Mark, faster on the left. So what is the conclusion here? Well, the Samsung didn't win in the games. So Apple pulls ahead once again in the gaming department. It could be due to that gaming mode, but Apple has historically been faster in the games, but sometimes they can throttle after using them for a while, so they don't sustain that performance. However, Samsung has faster animation, so the phone generally feels speedier, snappier. At the end of the day, I think what you'll notice if you buy a Samsung is it's got a very quick feel to it. If you buy a Samsung, you'll notice it's got, if you buy an Apple device, you'll notice that this iPhone has a very polished, like smooth, just like visually pleasing experience. All right, so let's get into the RAM management. We'll start here with 3D Mark, Geekbench 6, InShot, speed test, and we're on PUBG, Free Fire, Temple Run. That's good to go. Super smooth. As always, very good. And most things are looking very smooth as usual on the iPhone. Again, I would like to see them go 12 gigs of RAM on the next one minimum. I would like to see 16, but you know, it is what it is so far. And you've seen that running all those apps, this thing flew through those like it was nothing. Literally just flew right through those things like it was literally no task for the phone. Let's go into the Samsung, and I do have the Good Lock module that enhances the swipe out so it looks smoother, which definitely improves the experience on this phone versus some other Android phones. And you can see the Samsung's animation for some reason seems to fly out a little slower, but it's equally holding these apps in the background, not really giving us anything major on a reload front. And it also takes advantage of its ability to multitask way more than the iPhone. So you have the edge panel over here. You can put a little calendar in here. You could bring in the calculator over here. You can just keep bring them down, bring them around. You know, there's a lot of advantage being taken of the RAM on this phone versus that phone. But generally from the app performance, I would say the iPhone here on the RAM management looked smoother to go through them, but the Samsung held it, so it's pretty much a draw. So I just want to show you that the iPhone 16 Pro Max is about to finish the test, and we're only at 66%. So I already know we have a winner here. In Geekbench 6, what do you expect though? 3157 on the single core and 7738 on the multi-core score. So we'll be back when the S24 Ultra is in with its final score. And final score is in for the S24 Ultra, 1489 on the single and 5938 on the multi-core score. Now I feel like I've gotten better than that. Yes, this is the average around 2172, but even if I got that score, it would still be less than the iPhone over there, and multi-core score would still be under 1,000 points or around 1,000 points less. I got some pretty weak scores today. You probably can do better. But again, I did run a bunch of apps first, so that could be playing into that. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and test out 3D Mark benchmark. We're going to do the Wildlife Extreme here. Let's go find that one. And we'll start that out here and see what we do get. Now, this is only about a minute-long test, and it does test the graphics. It sees how it maintains those graphics and how much better it scores versus other phones on the market. So I'll be back when they are done. So the Galaxy S24 Ultra has finished test first, and it has a 3831 on the overall score. Now, that's pretty respectable. That's a very good score for a smartphone. Over here, we do have 22.95 average frames a second. Now, of course, this is not going to beat some of the fastest, PCs out there, but the thing is, it's a mobile device and it runs pretty fast. You'll see it even beat the iPhone 16 Pro Max here in the 3D Mark, so a turn of events. You'll also see, if you look at right here, you'll see right here the frame rates. They were starting to dip a little towards the end, and then they kind of boosted back up. Still a much better score than the 15 Pro Max on the left. But this score is better than 80% of devices, and this scored better than 86% of devices. So this is why some people think that the Geekbenchers may be biased towards Apple devices. The Samsung seeming to have a better graphical performance according to the 3D Mark test. And I wouldn't doubt that might be true, as Samsung definitely does play games very well once you're in the game, although Apple sometimes tend to load first. Samsung takes the victory here in 3D Mark. So what I'm going to do here is, I've been introducing this lately in the speed test. It's a quick scrolling test amongst 3 popular apps, YouTube, Instagram, and X. And what I like to do is kind of just scroll through faster and slower, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to expect. And you can see if you speed it up, both are pretty quick on YouTube here. Let's go over to Shorts and see how they load stuff. And you could see, that there's basically no really difference there. So very good there when it comes to YouTube. Let's check Instagram now. And you'll see as we load content down the page, loading them, it looks like the Samsung's pulling some content a little faster, but the iPhone tends to put really beautiful photos within stories and within posts. They just look really good. A lot of social media apps, that's something a lot of people know already, that social media apps sometimes look better when you post stuff from an iPhone. Let's go over here and we'll hit profile on both. And as we scroll through, I seen a little bit of a stuttering there on the Samsung when I went a little too fast. So this could be app specific, but generally you can see both of these are 2 of the fastest beasts out there, and they're going to have no issue scrolling through any of your popular applications. It's all going to load very quick on both. All right, so let's do a quick internet test. Let's take it on to apple.com. Did you buy an iPhone 16 Pro? Looks like iPhone took that one. Did you buy a 16? Are you buying one of these? Or are you not? You're just watching for fun? Let me know. Doesn't matter. I really don't care. You don't have to buy one. I'm not trying to tell you you have to get one. I get these to make content for y'all. Honestly, if I didn't make content, I probably wouldn't upgrade every year, but I'm incentivized to do so to help you guys out and to give you guys entertainment. That's what we're here. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have fun. That's what we're here to do. Let's go ahead and be fair here, have some more fun, and take it to Samsung.com. All right, so let's go to Samsung.com. And one thing I notice and really love about the Samsung keyboard is the number row. Come on, Apple. The Pixel has that too. Most Android phones have that. Apple took Samsung's website faster too. So it looks like Safari seems to load things a little quicker, if I'm being honest. Let's check out the new Buds 3 Pro. Safari once again. So I think Safari is a little snappier than Samsung Internet. Maybe it would be different if I did Chrome. I'm not sure. But let's take a look at one more website. Take it over here to yahoo.com, 3, 2, go. And again, faster than iPhone. So the iPhone has a faster internet browser. It just looks a little snappier. At least the Safari seems snappier than Samsung Internet. And they both have summarization features, but that's not coming into the official 18.1 unless you want to download beta for this iPhone over here. You'll see a summarization feature in Apple Intelligence within the reader mode, but you can already do that now if we click an article. So let me just click any random articles. You can see right now only reader mode is available here. But the Samsung does have the summarization feature already ready with the Galaxy AI, and Apple will have it just in about a month here. So Apple definitely a little bit faster, but Samsung is already giving you the smarter features as of now, but that's going to change very soon. So it's not really a big. Go ahead and check the camera launch times and shutters. Let's go 3, 2, and go. I think that was the iPhone. I might have clicked that first though. That could be on me. Let's do that again. 3, 2, go. Yeah, the iPhone was faster, and that was a much closer click. Let's do it again. 3, 2, go. Yeah, the iPhone a little faster. What about the shutter speeds? Both pretty good there. When going through the cameras, the iPhone feels a little smoother. The Samsung is going through a longer zoom range here, though, and does have way more reach than 25. I mean, the S24 Plus can go further than the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you're looking for the best zoom, it's probably the Samsung. If you're looking for great video, it's both, but you're definitely looking probably at the iPhone for a little bit better video. If you're looking for more features, it's probably the Samsung. They throw a ton of features on here. But you have this new camera capture button on here, which is definitely a nice touch. I know you can use the volume rocker on other phones, but this is just cool. It could be gimmicky for some, but on a tripod, photographers probably will use that. So again, it's for a lot of people, it's probably useless, but it's definitely a separating thing here for both these phones in terms of the camera capture button. So that's going to wrap it up here for me. My final conclusion is that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is definitely a very powerful phone, a little faster than the Samsung in the CPU, but the Samsung holds its own in the GPU. Both of these are quite warm, so before we wrap it up, I do want to go ahead and check the temperature before they get cooled down. And the iPhone and I kept pushing them. I didn't take a break at all. I just let them keep going and going. So at its hottest point, I seen something at around 110 degrees on the iPhone. Let's go ahead and check the Samsung now. So the Samsung 100, they're both toasting because we did a lot of work here. You can see a max 104. So the iPhone got a little warmer than the Samsung, definitely. So about 6 degrees warmer under heavier use. So iPhone still, even though it's a little bit better than before, it's still not a cold phone when you're pushing it. Both phones going to get warm when you push them. But that's going to wrap it up here for the speed test. Let me know which other phones you want to see battle against the 16 Pro Max down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.